What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and here we have the LG G7 ThinQ. Let's just call it the LG G7. Here we have the LG G7 for an unboxing. Let's go ahead and see what we get. This is the latest and greatest device from LG. My first impressions have been pretty good of this device. It's good to finally have the retail version here in the box. We can see here G7, once again, ThinQ. They're really going for this ThinQ name. I'm not sure it's a good idea. It just makes the device name really long. LG G7 ThinQ. You kind of want LG in there. You want G7 in there. Do you really need ThinQ in there? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's go ahead and take it out of the box. Right, so the first thing we have is an LG cloth, and you guys will know very soon why this is. And then there is the device. Let's put that device to the side for just a second, as well as the device itself. We've got pretty standard stuff. So there is a USB type A to USB type C cable. There is the charger, and this is a fast charger you can see here. So we do have support for fast charging, which is great. There's a SIM card ejector tool. Now your version will also come with some paperwork. My version here doesn't because it's a pre-release version. But nobody really reads the paperwork anyway, right? So it doesn't really matter. Anyway, right, so here is the device, and we can take off this plastic. Fingerprints haven't got on here as yet, but they will definitely do. But that's the reason why they've got this cloth here. I'd definitely recommend, picking up a case or a skin for this. Depending on what color. This gray version is not so bad in terms of picking up fingerprints as some of the other versions. There's also an Aurora black version of this. There's a Moroccan blue version, which is personally my favorite. And there's also a raspberry red, I think it is, but that's only going to be available in certain markets. This is called the platinum gray. Now, in terms of the build and design, we've got a premium build, very expected in 2018 now, where we've got the metal frame with glass panels on the front and back. The glass panels at the back do curve in slightly. This does make the device a little bit more comfortable to hold. It does look a lot like the LG V30 that we had last year. And if we take a look around the device, up front is the 6.1 inch LCD display. This has a Quad HD Plus resolution, a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. And yes, it also has a notch. LG call this a second screen, but it's a notch. And this is something that we're gonna have to get used to these days. Pretty much most of the new flagships that are coming out have a notch, and it's something that you either don't mind or you absolutely hate. If you do absolutely hate it, then you can switch it off. You can go into the settings and you have the new second screen option. And then you can have it as either a just black bar behind it, so it's just going to look like you've got the top and bottom bezels with small side bezels. But you've also got some other options here like a gray, rainbow. I really do not see the point of all these different options. You'd either have it on or off, in my opinion. Now, what's special about this display is that LG are calling it a super bright display, one of the brightest displays out there. And that's because you actually have this boost mode here, and that's gonna boost the brightness. I think it's for about 5 minutes, is it? I'm not 100% sure, but it's gonna give you some very high brightness when you're outdoors in direct sunlight and things. Is it as bright as other AMOLED displays, which are also very, very bright? I'm not so sure that it's brighter, but it definitely does get quite bright in sunlight. Now, the top is a secondary mic, and there is a SIM card tray. Now, this SIM card tray also has space for a micro SD card, which is great. So you can expand the storage on this. You get 64 gigabytes as a base. Some markets will also have 128 gigabytes, I believe. On the right-hand side, there is a power button. Now, we never used to have this in previous devices because the fingerprint scanner at the back also doubled up as a power button. This is no longer the case. On the left-hand side, there is the volume buttons, and then there is a dedicated Google Assistant button. Now, this is the first device with a dedicated Google Assistant button. We've got something similar on Samsung devices, but that is the Bixby button. And similarly, you cannot remap this. Whether you're going to be able to remap it later on, I don't know, we'll see. But pressing this once is gonna launch Google Assistant, as you can see here. Pressing and holding is gonna let you do the walkie-talkie commands. What's the weather like in Leicester today?
Today in Leicester, it'll be foggy with a forecast high of 26 and a low of 11.
Okay.
Currently it's 24 and mostly cloudy.
There you go. And finally, tapping this twice is going to launch Google Lens. Now, moving on to the bottom, you'll be pleased to know that we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack with a Hi-Fi Quad DAC, so you're going to be able to get some really good sound out of this if you've got the right headphones. There's a mic, there's a USB Type-C input, and then we've got a single bottom firing speaker. but this is what LG are calling a boombox speaker. And that is because it uses the space inside the device as a resonance chamber to really amplify the sound. And this thing can get very loud, especially if you've got it on a hard surface like a table. Now, if you want to see how loud this thing actually gets, then my buddy Thunder E from Board at Work has done a comparison video with the LG G7, the iPhone 10, the S9 Plus and other devices. And I'll be leaving that video linked in the description below as well as in the cards. Now, moving on to the back, you can already see that I've got lots of fingerprints. Where is that cloth again? There you go. That's a little bit better. We've got the fingerprint scanner. This actually works pretty well. So if I just show you quickly, I'm going to switch this off. Yep, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super fast like some other devices, but it does the job. There's also facial recognition, which I've set up. So, yep, again, seems to work pretty fine. Yeah, and then we have the cameras now. I am a camera guy and we've got some very interesting cameras here. We've got a dual camera setup. Both cameras are 16 megapixels. We've got a primary camera, which is a standard angle of view, and that has an f1.6 aperture. But then we have a super wide 107-degree angle camera with an f1.9 aperture. Now, I have no idea, really no idea why other manufacturers are not doing this. Have LG kind of got a patent on this or something that nobody else can do it? Because everybody seems to be concentrating on zoom telephoto cameras. And personally speaking, I so much prefer a wide angle camera. It's great for small spaces and things. You also have some new features with the cameras. So you've got the bokeh mode, which is going to give you a blurry background, which you can edit after the fact. And you've also got AI. So this is going to have a look at your scene and then try to improve it. So if it sees some blue skies, then it's going to try to boost the vibrance. I generally just find myself switching this off. I did on the P20 Pro and I can see myself switching it off on here as well. Might be something that you're into, I don't know. Of course, we're going to be doing some SuperSaf style camera comparisons of this with some other devices. Those are going to be coming very soon, and definitely let me know in the comments below which device you'd like me to compare this to first. Now, the front facing camera is 8 megapixels with an f1.9 aperture. You've still got the bokeh mode here as well. And you are also going to be able to edit the blur after the fact on the front-facing camera. This is something that I've not seen on another device before. Once again, I am really interested to see how this performs. Now, internally, you do have the latest and greatest Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, so I do expect it to perform really well. And you have either 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM depending on your region. Software-wise, you do have Android Oreo with the LG skin on top. Now, the skin is going to come down to personal preference. I don't hugely mind it. We do have a 3000 mAh battery. This is quite a bit smaller compared to lots of other flagships in this sort of area. So we'll see how well it does, but we do have fast charging as mentioned earlier on, and we do have wireless charging as well, which is great. Now, pricing information has just become available, and this is going to be going for £600 here in the UK, which in my opinion is actually quite reasonable. If you compare it to something like the S9, that's £740. The S9 Plus is actually a lot more. With the S9, you only get the single camera. And because of that price, I do think it's a pretty good option. I'm obviously going to be spending more time with it and doing lots of different tests. What do you guys think of the LG G7? Definitely drop that in the comments below and let me know. And also let me know what videos you'd like me to do with this. Of course, there's going to be lots of SuperSaf style coverage coming up. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. There's lots more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV. I'll see you next time.